how do Dobermans act when they're brought into a home that already has a dog of a different breed living there? I mean, is this really a good thing? Look, I get it. I know you're thinking that these dogs will have each other for companionship and they'll exercise each other and life will just be so much smoother, right? But did you consider just how weird Dobermans can be? We're gonna cover the good and the bad of this idea, kind of sort of a pros and cons, and if you've actually decided to do this anyway, how you can stack the cards in your favor to make it work. And finally, we're also gonna answer the question of why Doberman owners seem to kind of only have other Dobermans at home and no other breed. The answer to that question alone actually might really paint a picture of what you're in store for. Okay, first up, the potential good sides or the positives of bringing home a Doberman when you already have another breed at home. First up, a longer lifespan? Okay, this one's a little weird, but it definitely seems to be a possibility. In fact, in a study that we did here at Doberman Planet in 2024, we found that a full 73% of the oldest living Dobermans, those who made it to 14 years of age or older, lived with another dog in the house. And 84% of them had some other animal of some type in the house that they interacted with on a daily basis. A link to this study will be in the description down below if you want to check it out. That is huge, guys, and it definitely seems to reinforce the idea that having some sort of companionship at home with another animal could actually lead to longer lifespans for Dobermans. So maybe you'll end up with a longer living Doberman as a result. That's definitely a pro here. Another great thing about bringing home a Doberman to another dog is an increase in their protection abilities. Okay, maybe I shouldn't say ability, maybe we should say confidence, but it's been shown that having another dog in the house definitely boosts their confidence. And the more confident that they are, it means the bolder and more likely they are to intervene in a protection scenario. So you might actually have a safer house as a result. A definite plus. Another potential plus for bringing home a Doberman when you have another dog at home already is hitting those high exercise requirements of the Doberman breed. Something that's pretty tough to do. Dobermans need at least 1 to 2 hours of exercise every single day, sometimes a lot more. But here's the kicker, it doesn't have to be you giving it to them. It can be another dog in the house. And why do us Doberman owners struggle so hard to make sure that we always hit those exercise requirements? Because when they're well exercised, you have a calm, relaxed Doberman who's just an absolute dream to live with. So we're definitely chalking that up as a positive. Another upside, the companionship. They'll have each other, which means lower anxiety levels and less destructive chewing and annoying barking when you're leaving the house. Dobermans are just always glued to you. They're walking right by your side, right there with you, but you might get a little bit less of that if they have a playmate right there with them who they get along with. That's kind of cool. Okay, so now the serious and very real potential downsides to bringing home a Doberman when you already have another breed at home. The potential for fights. There can definitely be fights if they don't get along or they just seem to clash. And often this happens if they're two very different dogs. There could be possessiveness over resources. There could be food aggression, fights over territory in the house, or if you just have one dog that's really annoyed by the other because they're just too different. But honestly, more often than not, with a Doberman specifically, it'll be a fight for your attention. There's always potential for fights, especially with a bold, dominant working dog like a Doberman trying to get along with some other breed in the house. And the scary thing is that if these occur when you're not at home and you're not there to intervene, it could be pretty bad. Little asterisk here, sometimes dogs that are very different from each other actually get into a good routine and kind of leave each other alone. That can happen too. This brings us to the next downside, jealousy. Dobermans are essentially the benchmark by which owner-focused dogs are gauged, in my opinion. They are just hyper-focused on their owners, and this can lead to plenty of fights over, well, you. This could mean a fight could break out when you're petting one dog but not the other, or when you let one up on the bed in a spot that's really coveted but not the other dog. This could definitely lead to potential issues with a Doberman for sure. The next downside, training difficulties. Dobermans really are a breed that needs to always be getting trained, always be getting mentally challenged, and always having a job to do. They need a lot of focus from you, essentially. You don't just train them once and forget it, not with a Doberman. This means individual training time, which is really super important for this breed and can be extremely hard to do with a busy work schedule. Sometimes it's just all you can do to train once a day, much less have 2 separate training sessions, 1 for each dog, or maybe you can barely find the time, honestly, to go on 1 walk together. And having 2 walks a day, 1 with each dog separately, is just sometimes out of the question for some people. And that can really make leash training and continually challenging your Doberman really, really difficult. Another huge downside, and probably one of the biggest in my opinion, is something called littermate syndrome. Now, I've talked about this on my channel a lot before, but this is when 2 dogs in the household bond to each other more than they bond with you, their owner. This is actually a real phenomenon with Dobermans, guys, since they really do tend to bond hard and they bond fast, usually with their owners, but not always. This leads to a whole host of behavioral problems, including shyness, fear biting, refusing to eat without the other dog around, distractions during training, difficulty eating alone, even ignoring commands, and really a whole lot more really just problematic behaviors. Here's really the hard reality of it. Dobermans are high energy working dogs, and if you're mixing them in a household with another breed at home, those unique needs don't just disappear. And the last thing you want is for your dogs to be competing for resources and just generally running on different energy levels. That's why we're so happy to have Ollie as a sponsor of this video today, because they make fresh, human-grade meals for our dogs, and their plans are customized to your specific dog, whatever breed they might be. So whether you got a Doberman, a Golden Retriever, a Frenchie, or a Poodle, or all of the above living in a single household, Ollie can build you a plan that works for each individual dog. Their meals have no fillers or artificial flavors or preservatives. There's no mystery kibble here, guys. Just clean, balanced meals with real fresh ingredients like you'd find in your own kitchen. Real meats, fruits, and veggies. And the best part is it shows. I hear from owners all the time who say that their dog's coats look better, their energy levels are more stable, and even their training sometimes can go smoother once they switch to Ollie and they're just more focused. It's why we always recommend Ollie here at Doberman Planet. So if you want to fuel all your dogs in your house in a way that really matches their unique needs and actually makes life easier for yourself in the process, then definitely head over to dobermanplanet.com/freshfood or click the link down in the description below this video. That'll take you straight to Ollie's website and you can check out the meal plan there. Then just use the coupon code DobermanPlanet, all caps, at checkout and get 60% off your very first box. Okay, luckily the situation of getting a Doberman and bringing one home when you already have a dog of another breed at your house, it's definitely doable, and there are a lot of things you can do to stack the cards in your favor in a way that will work very well for the Doberman breed. Now, one thing you can do to make this situation work is to make sure that your Doberman's companion dog, the one you're bringing it home to, is one that has just similar mental stimulation and exercise requirements. So try pairing them with another working breed that's highly intelligent and of a similar side, because it can lead to more predictable interactions between them and lessen the likelihood of dogs kind of getting annoyed with one another because they're just too different. But watch out though for potential competitiveness, because that could be an issue too. But if you mix, say, a toy dog who likes to lay around on the couch all day and is 10 pounds with a Doberman that's high energy wanting to play all the time, that can lead to some potential issues for sure. Also, make sure they have at least a 2-year age gap between them, especially if the older dog is a dog you already have in the house and you bring home a new puppy Doberman. That really lessens the likelihood of littermate syndrome from occurring. And even better than that, the older dog can actually help make some of those very difficult development stages, like, I don't know, the puppy nipping and biting phase. It can really help make those a whole lot shorter and more manageable. Dogs are really great at self-regulating each other, especially younger ones in their pack. That brings us to the next way you can stack the cards in your favor. Introduce one of them as a puppy. Most of you probably know that when they grow up with a companion dog from a young age onward, things go a whole lot smoother their entire life. There's just less fights, seems to be a lot more fun too. Now, one of the biggest things you can do to stack the cards in your favor is to make sure these dogs are of opposite sex from each other. Now, it's not impossible to have 2 dogs of the same sex in the same household, but it can definitely be more difficult with a Doberman. So if you have a female dog of another breed at home right now, strongly consider getting a male Doberman. Now, having 2 male dogs in the house at the same time does sometimes lead to more frequent fighting, but less serious fights. And having 2 female dogs in the house has been shown to lead to less frequent fighting, but more intense and potentially dangerous, serious fights. Neither situation is good, so definitely get the opposite sex if you can. Okay, why is it? Why is there this long-standing phenomenon that Doberman owners seem to only get Dobermans? Yeah, they'll often sometimes have multiple dogs in the house, of course, but they always kind of seem to stick to just this breed, just to Dobermans. Not always, but I definitely say in large part. Why is that? Well, frankly, it's because they kind of get addicted to this breed, to be honest. And it's not because this breed can't live with other dogs in the house at all. It's just because this breed is so unique. They're just unlike any other dog in the house. They're incredibly owner-focused. They're highly intelligent. They have a huge drive to keep going all day long. They're protective and they're glued to your side like Velcro. And they also have a strange way of making like intense eye contact on a daily basis all the time that almost no other breed does. Yeah, us Doberman owners do tend to stick to the breed once we have a Doberman. They're just really different, really unique, and there just seems to be nothing like them once you get kind of addicted to the breed. So if you're considering getting a Doberman when you already have a dog of another breed in the house, definitely stack the cards in your favor if you're gonna do it. And make sure you understand the work that you're getting yourself into as well. The Doberman is absolutely an amazing, fantastic, and yeah, of course, adaptable breed as well. There's a million reasons why we love the Doberman. And if you love the Doberman as much as we do, make sure that you're subscribed down below. Hit that like button, it really helps us out. And watch out for next week's video all about this fantastically unique and gorgeous breed, the Doberman.